Hey guys, Alex here, and wanted to make for you guys another video. This one's actually not about Lyft or anything like that. Actually, it's with Sprint, and lately I think that they've been taking a lot of crap, and some of it is, I think, well deserved, and others, like today for me, it was a very pleasant experience. So, I've always been a Samsung fan, and yeah, I know the jokes about them lighting on fire and things like that. And actually, this is what brought me into the Sprint store, because my phone was only, it was less than a year old, and every time I would charge it, man, it would get hot. And can't really see it on there, but there's some bubbling issue going on in my hand. It was because I was charging my phone. I grabbed it, and man, that thing burnt like hell. So I went into the Sprint store. Well, first, having a background in tech support and actually having worked for Asurion, which is the guys who do the insurance and tech support for Sprint, Verizon, all those guys, I kind of had a good idea what to look for. But I also keep up in the news, and so I knew about these Sprint, or not Sprint, Samsung issues. So what I did was I did a factory restore, and did all software things that I could do, because sometimes it is, even if you're getting an issue like hardware heating up and stuff like that, it could be software related with the fans kicking on and things like that, cooling the phone. So I did all that, and nope, still had the issue. And so I went into the Sprint store, and I was kind of preparing a fight, because it's very rare that you'll hear, we know you got some issues, we'll replace your phone for free. So, but I having worked in tech support, I rarely come out of the gate swinging, and so I didn't in this particular case. And I went to an actual Sprint store, not a outlet or one of those types of places. So when I went there, they had told me that it would take 2.5 hours, and I was like, man, it's Thursday evening, we're cutting into Lyft time, and that's my bread and butter. And they said, well, let me see what I can do. So then they talked to the tech, and then the tech said, I can probably get you done in an hour and a half. And I said, okay. And I did some errands, filled up my gas. I was going to go do a car wash, but then I decided that's on the other side of town, so why do that? And so, I just had what I would call my dinner, and, did a little bit of shopping for stuff for the car. See, at the end of that was super unattractive, but it was itchy. So, anyways, so I did all those things and came back to the store, the Sprint store, and then the lady who was working on my phone, she came out and she's like, found some liquid damage, or some liquid residue in your port where your charger is. Having worked for the company, I already knew what that meant. That meant you got a deductible of $250. And I did have a crack in the camera lens, but it was not even relevant, because it was like on the very bottom, to the point where the camera couldn't even catch it, even if I zoomed in all the way and all that kind of stuff. So, it's not really wasn't a big deal to me. But I knew that if we busted out the whole it's liquid between that and the crack, I knew that was going to be a fight. And my argument was, well, I'm not asking you to replace the crack. I just want the phone to stop heating up. But liquid kind of sinks that fight too. And, you know, I have had the phone for about a year, and yeah, I got kids and stuff like that. But I can never really remember a time where my phone took any direct water. Like, yeah, I mean, it could rain and stuff like that, but she's like, well, I just want to let you know I'm going to go ahead and take care of you, and, you know, don't worry about the deductible. And that was cool. Because I didn't even argue. She just, like, threw that out right when she knew that I was doing Lyft and stuff like that. And so I think she kind of knew that the phone was my life. And although I'm not poor, $250 is kind of more than what I really have that I want to spend on a phone right now. Especially one that is, you know, it is older. It's the 7 Edge. So, I mean, we're what, 3, almost 4 generations out? But, you know, that in its own is kind of flawed logic, because they come out with at least one new phone every year now. So, age doesn't so much matter. Anyhow, so she's like, oh, you know, we're going to do it for free. And I said, okay, well, you know, thank you very much for doing that. And, you know, I really appreciate it, this and that. And then, when she comes out a third time, oh yeah, and then she said, you know, I'm almost done with it. You know, I'm sorry this is taking me a little bit longer. I was like, you know what, that's cool. You're doing me a huge favor. I said, $250 I would have paid. I'm just going to go ahead and calculate that into part of my time lost, you know? That's not really a... I would rather have everything working and lose a little bit of time and save $250 than to pay $250 and just get a new phone off the shelf. Like, that's not really a thing to me that I want to do. And so then she goes back into the office, or behind, you know, the glass and where they work on stuff, and then she was working on it for a little bit, and then she came back out. She goes, alright, so, and she pulls me to a desk area in the corner where they, you know, go over billing and stuff like that with customer. And so she pulled me aside, and I'm like, oh man, this is where the suit saw what she was doing, and now I'm going to be charged $250. I can't get too angry, I thought to myself, and I wasn't. You know, she's doing me a favor, and in my time working in offices, I've done a few things where, and I'm like, yeah, I'll help you out, even though it's maybe not strictly within the rules and the guidelines. So then she had, sorry, traffic is backing up. Then she had asked me if she can go over the things. She had told me that she'd like to go over the things with me that she had done, and if I had time, and I said yeah. So then when she pulled me aside, she's like, hey, I just want to let you know the phone looks the same. All of your data, you know, is on there. She's like, I saved the motherboard itself, but we changed out your RAM on the phone and even the processor itself. I changed out your camera, so you have the new updated camera. I changed out the glass, and man, it pretty much looks like a brand new phone. It runs like a brand new phone, and I can tell just from the quality of this video so far and what the cameras are catching, like the upgraded software and hardware is much better. And I don't really want to say name and location, because I don't want later on one of her bosses to see this or something like that and somehow kind of figure out whose account is linked and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, I get that that's highly unlikely, but I do want to thank you very much for giving the hookup on that one, because it means a lot to me. And to be honest with you, I was getting ready to bail on Sprint. Like, I was getting ready to pay that $250 fee because my phone kept dropping, and I can't really tell if it's hardware or if it's network related. But you know, like, I get some discounts through T-Mobile, and they got some perks and stuff like that. Verizon admittedly does have the best network, although they are ultra expensive. So I mean, AT&T wasn't even on my radar, but it was a toss-up between T-Mobile and Verizon. And Sprint I've been with since 2002. Like, that is a long time. So I just kind of wanted to see what was out there. Then after this visit, like today, like, working for other companies, I have exposure to Verizon and stuff like that. And yeah, I've had a little bit of exposure to AT&T, but Verizon, man, you are a number. And I get with most large companies, like even Sprint, you call in, you're just a number. But I will say, that lady didn't have to do all those things. I didn't do anything special. I didn't say anything special. But, you know, we, that small $250 fee that she effectively got waived for me was enough to keep me for another 10 years without asking, or without questioning myself. And then she took it a step further. She's like, hey, you know, I don't think that you, like, dip your phone in water or anything like that, because it was only the port that was really messed up. She told me to shake her hand, and I've got some kind of crappy hearing, which is weird for these big ass ears. But like, she reached out, and I didn't hear the shake my hand part, and so I gave her a hug, and I was like, alright, that's kind of weird, but sure, the lady wants a hug, she did me a favor, $250, I'll give a hug. And she's like, oh, that's nice of you to give me a hug. So we had that awkward hug at the Sprint store. But then she said it one more time. She's like, no, just shake my hand. It's like, oh, okay. So I shook her hand, completely oblivious, and she puts a brand new charger and case in my hand. And, or not case as in like a cell phone case, but a case as in like the case that the phone comes in with all the knickknacks and, you know, stuff like that. So she put it in my hand, and she was like, so at that point I knew what we were doing was, you know, not something that the store manager would approve of. So I slid that in my pocket real carefully. And she goes, my advice is just throw away the chargers you have, because that's what caused your problem. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, for sure. So I did toss out all my chargers, and I did go buy a couple of new chargers from Sprint, because, you know, that is an inflated cost. But I bought some fast chargers and stuff like that. And yeah, I just mean, like, that was really cool to me, and not too many people do that. Like, and it's not just Sprint that does stuff like this. I get that that's special to people doing things like that, but You know, that's not my only example of Sprint doing kind things to me, for me. Now, their customer service number, most of those people I do not like. Or at least the experience of dealing with them. I don't know if it's a training issue, it's a you're my millionth customer I'm talking today, and I'm just tired of it kind of issue, but like, man, those people, I don't know, man, they got some issues. And like, they always sound pissed off when you're talking to them. Or if you're talking to a salesperson, man, they just do not accept no. Which I get it. Sales is your job. That's how you get paid. You know, if I was being paid for sales, I'd have a harder time letting go. But at the same time, I think 3 no's is appropriate to get the fact of no, he's not buying it. So, hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I'm going to go ahead and upload it. I'm about to jump into the car wash and then probably I don't know, I'll probably be doing Lyft till about midnight tonight. So, you guys, thanks again for watching, and take care.